Well, hello there. It's been a long time, hasn't it? I haven't actually sat down with you at the gaming table for quite some time, but in my defense, we've been really busy here at Caffeinated Gamers, helping the community of Roswell find their people and fuel their game. But now that I actually have a moment to breathe, I'd be a big fan of showing all of you guys the games that have been flying off of our rental shelf every Sunday Family Fun Day. And what game to start off with? I can think of no game better than Love Letter. But before we get into the games, we can't be caffeinated gamers without a little dose of caffeine. Not sponsored, by the way. Alright, we've had our caffeine, so let's get into the game. So, objectively, Love Letter is a player elimination game with take-that card mechanics and social deduction and hand and risk management aspects. But what's the story? What's the lore behind Love Letter? That, dear friends, is what I am here to exposit to you. Love Letter is a game, not a game, a tale, if you will, of romance, intrigue, backstabbing, political power struggles, all wrapped up in a pretty little silk bag. So, what's the objective of this game? What are you trying to do? So, in Love Letter, everyone at the table is playing a wealthy nobleman in a Renaissance kingdom that is attempting to woo and win the hand of a fair and noble princess, and they're doing that by covertly sending a letter of intent to marry her through people in the kingdom. That being said, everybody at the table is attempting to do the same thing, so it's your best interest to get your letter to her first by either through expeditiously getting it there, or by quickly eliminating everyone else at the table, because in the game of Love and Highlander, the same rule applies. There can be only one. So that's the story aspect of the game. Let's go ahead and get behind the rules and how to play to show how it influences the story. So, everyone starts off a game of Love Letter by being dealt one card, and then another card is put in face down next to the draw deck to represent a bit of random chance for a card that will never get played this round. At the start of your turn on this round, you draw a card. So on the start of your turn, you will always have 2 cards in hand. And then after you draw a card, you will make a decision about what card you'd like to play, and then you play 1 card face up in front of the table, and you say what it is. In this case, I played the Chancellor, who has an influence value of 6 and an ability that allows you to draw 2, pick 1, and put the other 2 on the bottom of the deck. So every card in the top left corner has an influence value, and the higher that number is, the more likely you can win the game at the end of the round if no one else is eliminated. And they also have powers on them too. These powers can be used directively in an offensive manner to try to eliminate people by just like a guard guessing what they have in their hand and then eliminating them, or you play something like the Chancellor where you just set your hand up for later to win the game that way, or maybe you play the Handmaid because you're tired of being targeted by everyone at the table and you just want to get a defense net going for yourself. So that's how an actual turn of Love Letter goes. So when does a round end in Love Letter? So a round ends in one of 2 ways. Either every player but one is eliminated from the game, or the deck is completely drawn out. And when the deck is completely drawn out, everyone flips their face-up card in front of them to compare the influence values. And the highest value wins. In this case, we have a king who's got a power of 7, so that person would win. They would get a favor token, which is this game's version of a victory point. That is how you play a round. But how do you win? You win Love Letter when you have accrued in a game of 3 players 5 favor tokens. The amount of players will change the amount of favor tokens needed to win the game. If you're playing with 2 people, you only need, I believe, 6. Yes, you need 6. And if you're playing with 6 players, you only need 3 favor tokens. I'd also like to mention what a lot of the gamers who have been playing this game have been raving about as far as Love Letter, what they liked about it. So, one of the big things that they liked about Love Letter is that this game has a healthy balance of card counting and random chance. This is only a 21 card deck, and the game comes with plenty of sheets that talk about what's in the deck and the exact quantity, and everyone plays their cards face up. So it becomes really easy for a card counter to go, okay, so they played those cards, I have these in my hand, so that means there's only this in the deck, or they have that in their hand. It becomes really easy for card counting to become a thing. But it's also equally possible that that card counter gets eliminated on turn 1 on just pure luck because someone guesses that they have the princess in their hand and they eliminate them. So there's like a healthy balance of random chance and the ability to do a calculated card count for victory. Another thing that people have mentioned that they liked about this game is that it's portable. It literally all fits in this bag. So it's really easy to carry around in your pocket, in your purse, or in your book bag. And it also plays very quickly too. An average game of Love Letter for 3 people takes 30 minutes. Granted, I like to add goofy sounds and play out roles, so it turns out to be more like a 45-minute game for me. But on average, it's a 30-minute game, and it's even quicker with 2 people. It plays in 10 minutes with 2 people. So you can break out a copy of Love Letter if you're in a long line at the DMV or at the movie theaters and play with someone you're waiting with real quick, just to have some nice entertainment. Another thing that people have also mentioned that they've liked about it is that for all of that, it's also very reasonably priced at only $14.99. So it's the whole package deal. It's cost effective, portable, quick to play, easy to learn, and very fun. And that's why people have been playing it a whole bunch. Now, that's the game. That's what people have liked about it. And if I've gotten you interested in trying it out yourself, I'd like to give you some tips and tricks for how you can excel at a game of Love Letter. So tip number 1. Always keep your eyes on all the other players. So it becomes very easy to start telling what someone's hand looks like if they're making a lot of noise as they're shifting around nervously as they're playing their cards, because maybe they're scared that they are going to get revealed that they have the princess, or it's late in the game and they don't have any high power cards, so they're scared about that. So it becomes a little bit easier for you to guess as a player what's in your opponent's hands to either A, play around it, or B, try to find a way to eliminate them. That being said, the inverse is also true for you, so for your sake, keep your cards close to your chest, play it out, resolve the effects, because you don't want them to be able to read you like a love letter. That's not what you want to happen. You want to obfuscate your enemies so you can eliminate them quicker and easier. Another thing about the game that's very important is that you need to make sure to keep your eye on the princess. The princess is a very important card in this game. She is both your greatest asset and also your greatest liability. She has an influence of 9, so she can win any round if the deck is drawn out. But she also can get you eliminated because her ability eliminates you if you play her or discard her. So you need to find the right time to draw the princess. And you can do that by A, potentially playing the Chancellor to put her back into the deck, or B, swap hands with another player using the king. That way you know that they have the princess and it's easy to eliminate them. Because the princess, while she is the end goal who you're trying to marry, she can also really ruin your day if you don't plan around her properly. She is a princess after all, she's got a lot of power. So, those are the tips I had for Love Letter. And with that, I think I've talked about everything about the game. I've talked about how to play the game, what people have liked about the game, tips to win. And without further ado, all I can really say is that a game like this, with as much fun, social deduction, card hand advantage, and take that player elimination style that plays in a very short amount of time, this is a game that any wannabe Romeo, Lothario, or Machiavelli will definitely be writing home about. See you for the next game, everybody. Take care, and have a good day.